War, an assortment of bandit vermin have set themselves up as rulers of outlying provinces. Our Minister of War, the evil Galku, is quoted as saying, "They are like insects to me." Yet even as he laughs at their pathetic attempts to unseat him, these bandits gain even more support from the people. Even the Emperor himself seems to have taken notice. Will this Song dynasty be able to weather these turbulent times?
As a child, I was a big-time fan of Koei's historical simulation series. In fact, I actually own multiple copies of some of their titles. Each of these titles has its own charm and its own unique features, but I find the overall quality increases with each game released. Let's take a look at one of their earliest titles, Nobunaga's Ambition. Nobunaga! What? Nobunaga! Show some respect for one of the greatest conquerors of all! Look, I've been calling it Nobunaga's Ambition since I was like 3 years old, and I'm not changing it now. As I was saying, Nobunaga's Ambition for the NES. Small battlefields, only 55 squares, and only allowing your units, even your cavalry, to move 1 square per turn regardless of the terrain they're on. This hampers battlefield strategy. This was also a game made before game balance was a well-understood concept like it is today. You try to start a new game and you get 1 turn, and then surprise! You're attacked and lose the game. Okay, so you restart and buy troops turn 1 and surprise! The citizens revolt! Okay, so you figure you'll give the citizens some money to appease them and surprise! Your own soldiers turn against you! And it's 5 versus 18. So you start over again, and before you get a turn at all, your troops turn against you. Then after you survive that, still before you've had a turn, an enemy invades. It's impossibly hard to start out in this game. You really have to get lucky during those early turns. Even after that, multiple adversaries can attack you in 1 round from every side, as many as 3 to 4 times in a single turn. If you start in certain countries, your ruler is too old and will die of old age at some point during gameplay. You can imagine what it was like trying to play this as a 6-year-old. Still, the groundwork was all there, and if you were patient, and found a good starting fife, then you would find a deep strategy game unlike any that had come before it. Fast forward half a decade to my favorite Koei title, Bandit Kings of Ancient China. Expansive battlefields with a much greater measure of tactical depth. A wide variety of heroes whose stats can grow over the course of the game, many of whom have special abilities, such as archery, forging weapons, building ships, lobbing fireballs. There's even wizards! Though I've never been sure if they're using fireworks to scare off enemy armies or actually casting spells to blind the heroes and incinerate their men. And most importantly, you can settle in one of the outlying provinces and not worry about being invaded, at least not right away. You still have to worry about the loyalties of your men and possible revolts from the citizenry, but this doesn't result in your annihilation as it did in Nobunaga's Ambition. You need the support of the people if you are to collect taxes from them. Losing that support means no taxes. And the game keeps track of the loyalty of every hero you have. But if it gets too low, they simply leave your service, rather than trying to overthrow you. These names: Carefree Rat, Glutton. Hairy Priest. Sick Warrior. Is that a strainer on his head? Wily Warrior. What kind of name is Wily? Oh. In single player, the most likely way you'll lose the game is if you run out of time. If you do not receive the Imperial Edict allowing you to directly attack Evil Gaoqiu himself, and then capture and execute that slimy toad before January 1127, you lose the game, as the Mongol hordes invade. Actually, I've always wished that the game would continue and allow me to battle the Mongols. If you play multiplayer, I recommend sticking to Scenario 1, where all the playable characters start out in exile. The later scenarios give up any pretense of game balance, starting you with settled countries and widely varying armies. A lot of fun to try out in single player, but again, not a balanced multiplayer experience. An angry bear? Well, there's only one solution to this problem.
Roar, see him foam, but we're not coming home till he's dead. Good and dead! Kill the beast! No.
Don't you have something better you could be doing? What are you doing to pay off your debts? Why, I'm designing the Unhappy Meal, a burger patty made entirely of rats. And they're hungrier than you are. How does that... And the fries are starving rats as well. Yes, but... And the drink is a surprise. Let me guess. It's made out of rats too. No. It's made of bees. And how is this going to generate income? Isn't it obvious? No, it isn't. It'll generate money by... Yes? People will... Yes, go on. They'll... Gah! Another important aspect of gameplay you should be aware of going into the game is sworn brothers. You only have direct control of a province if your commander or one of his sworn brothers is in that province. All the others are left on autopilot with whatever orders you gave them. Having at least a couple sworn brothers is absolutely essential. There's also a greater degree of randomness in the course of the game than is first apparent. One game might be more or less peaceful, allowing you as much time to build up in the outlying provinces as you want. The next, you may find Gao has extended himself all the way to your door before you have any hope of financing an army. Between the many scenarios and this unpredictability, the game has high replay value. Bandit Kings of Ancient China offers a greater depth of combat, supports a wider variety of playstyles, and has a greater replay value than any other strategy game on the console. Do you have what it takes to win the confidence of Emperor Huzong and oust Evil Gaoqiu before the Mongols arrive? Or will you only struggle futilely until the hordes brush your armies aside like so many leaves in the wind?